You walk into a room and trip slightly on the carpet. Nobody laughs. Nobody even looks up. And yet for the rest of the night, you feel like everyone saw it. You replay it in your head before bed. You wonder if that one person at the door noticed. The truth is, almost no one did. But the real answer is stranger than you think. Your brain isn't just imagining that people are watching you. It's running an ancient survival program that was never designed for a world full of strangers who don't actually care. Think about the last time you sent a text and didn't get a reply for a few hours. Did your mind start writing a story? Maybe you offended them. Maybe they're mad. Maybe you said something wrong 3 weeks ago, and this is the delayed punishment. Your brain built an entire courtroom drama out of silence. And somewhere in that spiral, you forgot the simplest explanation. They were probably just busy. This is what's known as the spotlight effect. It's the tendency to believe you are far more noticed, judged, and remembered by other people than you actually are. Researchers have tested this in a strange and slightly cruel way. In one well-known study, college students were asked to wear an embarrassing t-shirt into a room full of strangers, then guess how many people noticed it. The students guessed nearly half the room would remember the shirt. In reality, only a small fraction did. People are too busy living their own internal monologue to fully register yours. Here's the part that stings a little. You are the main character of your own life, every single day, all day. So is everyone else. Their brain is busy starring in their own movie, worrying about their own hair, their own awkward comment, their own missed deadline. You are, at most, a background extra in most of the rooms you walk into. That's not an insult. It's actually kind of freeing once you sit with it. So why does it feel so real? Why does it feel like every eye is on you when you stumble, mispronounce a word, or send the wrong message to the wrong group chat? The answer goes back further than social media, further than school, further than any embarrassing memory you can name. It goes back to a time when being noticed by the wrong people could get you killed. For most of human history, your ancestors lived in small tribes of maybe 50 to 150 people. This number isn't random. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar studied the size of social groups across primates and humans and found a consistent pattern. There's a cognitive limit to how many stable relationships a human brain can comfortably track, and it hovers somewhere around 150 people. In a group that's small, being watched wasn't paranoia. It was accurate. Everyone really did know your business. Social mistakes had real consequences. Get cast out of the tribe, and you were exposed to predators, starvation, and isolation. Being seen badly wasn't just embarrassing. It was dangerous. Your brain still runs that program. It hasn't updated its software for a world of 8 billion strangers who will forget you exist within the hour. So when you walk past a group of people and one of them glances at you, an ancient alarm goes off. It says, "They're watching, they're judging. Protect your reputation right now." Except the glance probably meant nothing. They were looking past you at the door. Psychologist Roy Baumeister spent decades studying how deeply humans are wired for social belonging, and one of his core findings is that the need to belong is not a soft preference. It functions almost like a basic survival need, similar to hunger or safety. When you feel like you might be judged or excluded, your brain doesn't treat it like a minor inconvenience. It treats it like a threat to your survival. That's why a single, awkward silence in a conversation can replay in your head for days, while 100 normal, unremarkable interactions vanish completely. Your brain isn't built to log the ordinary. It's built to flag anything that smells like social danger. Now here's where it gets stranger. This isn't just an old instinct quietly running in the background. Modern life has built an entire industry on top of it. Every time you post something and wait for likes, you are feeding the exact same circuitry that once kept your ancestors scanning the tribe for approval. Every notification is a tiny verdict. Did they like it? Did they notice? Did they care? Social media didn't invent your fear of judgment. It just plugged a high-speed cable directly into a wire that was already there, and it turned an occasional anxious thought into a constant, refreshable feed. So why does it feel personal? Why does your brain replay your own mistakes on a loop while barely registering anyone else's? Psychologists call part of this phenomenon illusory transparency, the belief that your inner feelings are far more visible to others than they really are. You feel nervous in an interview, and you assume it's written all over your face. In reality, studies on this effect have found that people consistently overestimate how much of their internal emotional state actually leaks out. Your nervousness feels loud to you because you're the only one who can hear it from the inside. Everyone else is getting a much quieter, much blurrier signal, if they're getting one at all. Put these two effects together, the spotlight effect and illusory transparency, and you get a strange kind of solitary confinement. You believe people are watching you closely, and you believe your private struggles are obvious on the outside. So you tense up. You overthink simple conversations. You rehearse texts before sending them. You replace your real reaction with the version you think looks acceptable. And the irony is that the audience you're performing for is mostly imaginary. Most people are too absorbed in their own spotlight to spend much time operating yours. There's a third piece to this puzzle, and it comes from social psychologist Jonathan Haidt, who has written extensively about how the human mind evolved less like a lone thinker and more like a press secretary for a hidden tribal instinct. Part of your brain isn't actually trying to find the truth about whether people are judging you. It's trying to protect your standing in the group, just in case. That's why reassurance rarely sticks. You can be told 100 times that nobody noticed your mistake, and the anxious part of your mind still runs the same simulation the next time you walk into a room. It isn't being irrational on purpose. It's doing the job evolution gave it, even though the job description hasn't been updated in 200,000 years. This is the modern mirror, and it's a strange one. You live in a world more crowded with potential observers than any human in history. Strangers everywhere, cameras everywhere, profiles everywhere. And yet, despite this crowd, actual attention has become scarce. Nobody has time to watch you that closely. They're checking their own notifications. They're rehearsing their own line for later. The spotlight you imagine on yourself is mostly just the glare bouncing off everyone else's phone screen. So what do you actually do with this? You don't need to stop caring what people think entirely. That instinct, in its original form, helped your ancestors survive inside small, tightly bound communities. But you can start noticing when the alarm is going off for the wrong reasons. The next time you replay an awkward moment in your head, ask yourself a simple question. Would you remember this happening to someone else a week from now? If the honest answer is no, there's a good chance nobody else will remember it happening to you either. The tripped step, the unanswered text, the thing you said that felt too loud in the silence afterward. These moments feel enormous because you're standing right inside them. From the outside, most of them barely register. The room you walked into, embarrassed and certain everyone noticed, has already moved on. They were never really watching. They were busy starring in their own story, the same way you're starring in yours. And maybe that's the real twist. The spotlight you've been so afraid of was never pointed at you. It was pointed inward the whole time, lighting up a stage where you are both the actor and the entire audience, performing for a crowd that mostly went home a long time ago. If you enjoyed this video and want more psychology insights that can help you think, learn, and grow, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.